Was it blind luck, sheer brilliance, or did he cheat destiny itself? Uncover the astonishing truth behind the once humble farm boy who defied all odds to shape California's legendary riches and became a legend. Elias Jackson Baldwin's unlikely rags to riches tale began in 1853. At age 25 that year, the young Elias made a life-changing decision. He decided to relocate to California at the height of the California gold rush. Now, Elias wasn't interested in mining gold himself, but he was a shrewd businessman, and he foresaw opportunities in providing supplies, food, and accommodations to the gold miners. So Elias outfitted 4 wagons, loading 2 of them with tobacco, brandy, and tea to trade along the way. This early business acumen allowed him to profit even before reaching California. Elias's adventurous 5-month wagon journey displayed his adventurous spirit. He would scout ahead, even getting lost and rescued by Native Americans at one point. But his determination paid off. Upon arriving in California, his supplies put him in an excellent position to profit from the needs of the gold rush. With this new windfall of profits, entrepreneurial mindset, and willingness to take risks, he wasted no time. Immediately upon arriving in San Francisco in 1853, the newly minted Lucky Baldwin bought the Temperance Hotel for $5,000. He sold it a month later for a $5,000 profit, displaying his sharp business skills. From there, Lucky grew his real estate holdings. He also made big stock market investments and became a key figure in the San Francisco Stock Exchange. Not one to risk everything, Lucky also started a brick manufacturing plant. He bought and sold many goods and commodities, always looking for new chances to make money. Throughout the 1860s, Lucky continued to be an active investor and entrepreneur in sectors like real estate, manufacturing, and trading. But over time, his interest took him to Southern California in what some would call his first major move. In 1875, Baldwin bought the massive 48,000-acre Rancho Santa Anita property in Los Angeles County, a holding that became the foundation for his California empire. But in his endless chase for wealth, how far was this farm-turned-business tycoon willing to go? At what ethical price would Baldwin's ambitions be achieved as he aggressively expanded from the Golden State's ranchlands into other industries? From the start, Lucky Baldwin's business, personal life, and rural roots drew much attention and criticism. The California upper class laughed at this unsophisticated country bumpkin upon his arrival. Lucky Baldwin's love life was no stranger to controversy. The wealthy businessman tangled with multiple wives and lovers simultaneously. In 1881, Jane Dexter and Sarah Hill both claimed to be his lawful wives, igniting a bigamy firestorm. Dubbed the Baldwin-Hill-Dexter scandal, captivated America with its racy revelations. As the legal drama played out, details emerged about Baldwin's unusual romantic affairs. They portrayed the millionaire as a rule-breaking philanderer. The scandal summed up Baldwin's complex life. His huge wealth and success were mixed with hubris and personal failings. Society's glare was unforgiving. But it was his alleged corruption and ruthless labor tactics that would spark national outrage. In his relentless chase for wealth and power, Lucky Baldwin continued expanding his land empire across Los Angeles like an unstoppable force. His vast holdings ultimately spanned over 63,000 acres, a staggering 20% of the city's total land area today. Through purchases later called his Santa Anita Gambit, Baldwin acquired an area which one day will be called Beverly Hills for just $200,000. Even then, he envisioned developing a prestigious residential community. These holdings are valued in the billions today. But the young businessman had more ideas beyond mansions and Rodeo Drive. he turned his focus to nearby mineral-rich lands. He made a risky $250,000 investment in 1873 to gain control of Nevada's Crown Point silver mine near Virginia City. A bold risk-taker, yet whispers from his mining operations hinted at a willingness to risk more than just money. As his fortune rapidly grew, so too did scandalous reports. Labor unions and social activists seized on allegations of worker exploitation, including the use of child labor. His powerful rivals were all too happy to amplify these controversies. They cited inspectors' accounts of crumbling mines, lack of safety, and pay so low that it trapped workers in poverty. Baldwin dismissed these claims as simply propaganda by his enemies. But would his ambition to fearlessly chase his American dream be another dark story of uncontrolled capitalism in the Golden Age? Or would the public outrage and emerging labor movement prove too much? As labor uprisings and public outcry intensified, Lucky Baldwin found himself waging war on two fronts, facing both the grievances of the working poor and the resistance of the rich and powerful. Two key adversaries emerged: railroad magnate Collis Huntington and media mogul William Randolph Hearst. Huntington was one of the mighty Big Four railroad barons. He commanded a vast web of rail lines, terminals, and vital infrastructure. They were the lifeblood of the region's economy. Today, likened to Amazon's Jeff Bezos of his time, Huntington control over transportation and the flow of goods determined if towns flourished or died. Seeing the opportunity for profit and influence, Baldwin jumped into the railroad business. Relying on backdoor deals and political favors, he tried to manipulate railroad contracts and government land grants. This ignited legal battles with Huntington's Southern Pacific powerhouse. Accusations flew, alleging Baldwin's corrupt attempt to control California's railways. This led to even more public outcry and media attacks. William Randolph Hearst's sprawling newspaper conglomerate showed Baldwin no mercy. Like today's Rupert Murdoch, Hearst controlled a vast media empire, shaping public opinion and driving politics. His papers mastered sensationalism, aggressively pursuing stories to captivate readers and sell papers. Baldwin made an easy target. His clashes with the wealthy elite and laborers was throwing gasoline on the fire. As outrage grew over Baldwin's alleged railroad scandals and mining operations, Hearst's outlets amplified them. Lucky found himself battling not just for business dominance, but the public's perception. Once mocked as a mere country rube, Baldwin now stood out among the Golden Age's most infamous robber barons. But as tensions soared even higher, would his pride spell his downfall? Or did his unyielding confidence come from a sharp mind, always one step ahead of his adversaries? The explosive labor protests that had been building for years across Lucky Baldwin's mining empire finally reached a peak of violence and bloodshed. Growing tensions between the so-called slave driver of Santa Anita and strengthened unions turned into open rebellion. At his crown jewel, the Crown Point silver mine near Virginia City, armed company enforcers clashed with strikers. This descended into unrestrained brutality in late 1877. The major flashpoint conflict of industrialist versus worker quickly spun out of control as gunfire erupted, leaving multiple lives tragically lost. For him, the shocking violence represented the bitter peak of public anger over his long history of open worker exploitation and labor rights abuses. His unapologetic attitude toward human dignity had finally provoked an explosive reaction, threatening to overthrow all he had so boldly built. Though the deadly Nevada conflict left Baldwin's reputation shredded and his moral standing destroyed, the determined robber baron came out of the chaos more determined and focused than ever to tighten his stronghold on the mining industry's riches. He refused to compromise. He doubled down on his authoritarian approach and rejected protesters' demands for better working conditions and higher wages. His once humble rural personality is gone. Now dominated by an industrial tycoon fixated on amassing wealth at any cost, his bank accounts and property holdings only grew more after the conflict. It was clear to many that the toll on workers and society from his greed could no longer be overlooked. The central question persisted. Was there a line this American capitalist would not cross? Baldwin's boldness knew no bounds. In 1903, he boldly founded the city of Arcadia, California, seizing the reins as its inaugural mayor. His audacious move? To legalize gambling and establish Arcadia as a premier destination for thrill seekers and leisure enthusiasts. At the heart of his vision was the Santa Anita Park racetrack, a monument to his passion for horse racing. Officially opened on December 7, 1907, the racetrack became an instant sensation, drawing crowds from everywhere. But his ambitions extended far beyond the racetrack. He subdivided his land for real estate and cultivated citrus groves and vineyards, leveraging the fertile soil to sow the seeds of prosperity for Arcadia and its residents. Yet his audacious plans faced fierce opposition from neighboring cities, who protested the legalization of gambling and the city's very incorporation. But the man remained resolute, his vision for Arcadia's future as clear as the valley skies. Elias "Lucky" Baldwin died on March 1, 1909. His passing marked the end of an era. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of a man who defied the odds and left an indelible mark on California's economy. From humble beginnings as a farm boy in Ohio, Baldwin rose to prominence through a combination of audacity, keen business acumen, and unwavering determination. Despite his monumental success, Baldwin harbored mixed feelings about his "Lucky" nickname. While outwardly accepting the nickname with forced smiles, inwardly, he chafed at the notion that his achievements were merely the result of chance. In a rare moment of candor, Baldwin erupted before flattering admirers. "I've worked hard for everything," he defied. "This luck talk insults my life's labors." Lucky Baldwin's rags-to-riches journey personifies American grit, determined pursuit of success against long odds. But historical accounts reveal a complex legacy, raising moral questions relevant today. His impact across agriculture, transportation, and more still shapes modern California. Yet Baldwin faced criticism for exploiting immigrant and minority laborers. Countering voices argue he wasn't the monster Hearst's newspapers depicted. Some accounts tell of a fair employer offering competitive pay and housing, simply driven by profits like peers during that era. But ongoing conflicts exist over income inequality, worker rights, and corporate ethics. Baldwin's story serves as a cautionary tale amid these conflicts. It warns about the dangers of unbridled ambition and greed. Today's entrepreneurs, investors, and business leaders can learn from his experiences. They offer vital lessons. In the relentless chase for wealth and power, just how far is too far to go?